space opera. So, you know, it's guys with lightsabers and fighting scary monsters. It's Spelljammer. It's D&D in space.
Yeah,
but
well,
it's the 5 stat mechanics.
you don't need strength. I can have a Darth Vader suit on it with servos.
It would still then reflect in your strength. So you probably have a Darth Vader suit with servos, and that's what's giving you the great strength.
That could be it.
But you're a frail man, it looks like, with the Constitution of 15. Now you're also going to roll a D4 for, this is a big one, the amount of silver crypto you start with at the beginning of the game. 1 to 4, Rusty.
Very good. 1.
You're gonna make us run out of gas. All right, you can help me now with this. So if you pan down, you're gonna see the Dauntless Perisher, our ship, our favorite and Battleborn style name, and okay. we have a fuel of 4, and we have a vessel HPs of 3. The fuel could reach a maximum 11. The vessel HPs could reach a maximum of 7. Now, I rolled a D4 plus 1 and got 3 for our gigatonnage. Z gigatonnage, I should say. With Z gigatonnage of 3, we have 3 different sections, or 1 section with 3. You can help me pick this. Now, do you want to start with a life support section, an amenities section, a robotics section, a propulsion section, an armaments section? And these would be enhancements to what we already have. So don't think if you don't pick a helm, there's no way that we're steering the ship. That's not the case. If we pick a helm, we get extra talents within the helm. So
okay. Well, I would favor armaments, propulsion, and that's tough with the science versus robotics.
Remember, it's space opera. Go ahead.
But I play the more. I don't care about the soft serve dispenser usually. So
okay, so let's go with armaments, propulsion, and science comms. So now, of the armaments, do we want a crushing knockback advantage, a cunning act, et cetera, et cetera? How about range strike? Does that work for you?
Yeah. Range
now
strike.
That's a classic range strike, just like we played in the 5-stat fantasy. It will get a certain amount of. Let me just cut and paste it into the chat, and then you can see it's almost exactly similar. There's a few changes, obviously, because the sites have changed. There's a few little things changed on the verbiage, but we get +9 dexterity for a D4 plus rolls when we activate that. We can select from 2 rolls for our condition on battlefield. We can add dex as an option to combat tests of arcane. We can replenish energy by entering any battlefield. Oh, that's a double on the battlefield. And we can gain a point of fuel by visiting any draw to danger site. So, not bad. Now let's go over to propulsion. If we're going to use our propulsion to save ourselves, do we want to have a ward against funky powers? Do we want to dispel a danger in front of us? Do we want to dodge? Do we want to battle cry? Which do you think, Rusty? There's no wrong answers, obviously, as we start to learn the game. Monkey dust, that happens a lot, right? Versus curses.
Yeah, we go with monkey dust.
Okay.
There's no right answer.
No, there's no right answer. There's no wrong one either. It's all powers.
I think the dispel had some beneficial things, but
you can think of them as force powers. So the monkey dust here, 3/7, +5 strength whenever we need it. Now that would pretty much assure that you could make a roll and I could make a roll. By resolving any freebooters, then we return HPs to starting max. That's nice. Know beforehand the outcome of temporal spaz, protect and cancel, etc. And then our final one in science cons, does it want to make us brave? Does it want to give us engineering? Virtuoso to solve problems, pathfinder to get around, genius, intrepid, or stoic?
Engineering the thing that if we went to a system, everybody gets to roll 1d4 for the silver.
Let me see. You're going to go right for the greed element.
I only have 1 silver crypto.
Oh, you're going to get plenty. You're going to get plenty off the dead bodies of the other players. Engineering +7 intelligence for a D4 +1 rolls. That would help us in combat, which is good. That's 2 for combat. Gain an XP by resolving the covert depot site. That's not bad. Know beforehand the outcome of derelict. Ensures the network hub. Let me see if you're all the way down. I don't see anything about silver.
No.
You might be thinking of thief or lockpick.
I'm thinking thief then.
Yeah,
lockpick.
Lockpick is under robotics and thief is under amenities. I didn't change the names too much because sure it would make sense that lockpick would not be in robotics, but it's a robotic lockpick. You're just going to have to space opera it. If this was hardcore science fiction, hardly any of these names would appear. But let's go ahead and pick engineering since I posted it anyway, and it helps us in combat. All right. Now, there are 3 different ways that you can acquire these talents, Rusty. They are attached to the ship. The more gigatonnage we have, the more of these talents we can find and access. At the start of each adventure, we can rearrange our gigatonnage in any way we want. If we decide, boy, we want to be robotics heavy this time, we certainly can be robotics heavy, etc. The second way that you can improve is individually with your funky force powers, your funky powers. And those are, like spells that you pick up, but you need energy in order to cast them. And the third way you can pick these up is you can actually get space opera accoutrements. For instance, you can get, in this case, if we are successful in completing our mission, we're going to get these 2 items. We are going to get a cosmic harmonica with a 5/3 endure hardship. I can almost picture the guy sitting on the space railroad playing that. And accoutrement reward for victory, dark photon whip with talent of dodge. Those are neat. And to start, I'm going to give you this, since you are a master keeper of these, it seems like. As the master keeper, Rusty, I'm going to give you a 1-shot start, a potion, brainstem, with the talent 6/3 virtuoso, but it has the limitation you have to take it with any pill. And we don't have any pills to start.
In other words, we get a pill. Got it.
Okay, until we get a pill. And Conrad, do I have any Skype yet? I'm going to think that is a no.
Yes. Skype's got a little bit of a lag when I switch.
That's fine. And would you please roll your 5 stats with 5d4 each? And Rusty rolled an amazing number, but not as good as mine. I rolled a 6 in Constitution.
I'm still struggling a little bit with the
interface.
The Skype.
Yeah, Skype was having trouble. There was a major update middle of the week for the operating system, and it turned off my Hero Wars in my Google browser, and I didn't care for that in Chrome, so I had to take it out, installed it, and then uninstalled it. I'll have to work the bugs out on that.
That's a 5-die-4, right?
5-die-4, yes. Okay. And roll a final d4 for the amount of silver you have at the end as well.
Okay. Did you send a file with that, or did you?
No, it's very similar to the 5-stat fantasy. No
worries.
The game rules are in the chat.
Yeah, no worries.
Or not in the chat; they're in the handouts.
Yeah.
I can drop it all off to you, but it would just be make work for you. And
yeah, no worries. I couldn't remember if you sent me a link, and then I said, well, let me just search. I remember seeing the word 5-stat, so I searched for that, and that came up. And
it's all good. I played with so many people who have never known the rules, not one iota of the rules. And it is not as bothered any game session. And certainly when we started in high school, there was only 1 or 2 that would actually read the books. The rest were just depending upon those 1 or 2.
Saving throw was a pretty novel concept back in the day.
It was.
Right? It was just
I hear that it comes from the miniature tanks that occasionally
an armor class comes from the ship from the Sea Games, right?
Yes.
The ships had an armor class.
Well, we don't got no armor class, but we certainly have a saving throw of sorts. The 5 stat is sort of nifty that every time you miss a roll, you take a hit point of damage. And that's how everything is resolved. All the pain in the game is slowly whittling down your hit points. Now, a typical of the 5 stat for Underworlds, 5 stats for Fantasy and Overland, and 5 stats now for Space Opera, the bases are the key. Because every time you go to a base, you have a chance to refuel. The difference between this and the other versions is the fact that the ship becomes important because it's going to give us a range. With a fuel of 4, we can only move 4 spaces before we run out of fuel. We don't die when we run out of fuel, but the mission fails if we run out of fuel. And at times, combat will be ship only. Or if we want, we can collectively use our talents and attack ship only, depending upon the monster we face. Go ahead and hurl those dice for yourself when you get a chance, and then we'll get started.
Yep, almost, sir.
And Greg. Well, if Greg shows up, Greg shows up. Otherwise, we got our core audience. Adjust this mic, get a little closer to the screen.
You need Greg so he can say, "Kill Rusty off, kill Rusty off."
You got a character that's pretty kill off, although you got a huge constitution, right?
Yeah, that just means I miss all the constitution rolls.
Well, so now you're learning that to have low hit points. Hey, my hit points are a record. I am hit points of 12.
Because my
lowest stat is in con, and con added to my lowest stat is really low. But I got some good some things. I just need to improve my dex. I need 1 XP to improve my dex, and I'd have a decent character.
That's not a very good strength, Conrad.
No. That's
just
okay
to prove it. I have that.
It's an excellent
8 strength, 6 con. Let's go back to Conrad here.
Yikes,
well, somebody's got to be a thinker. Right, at least it's Constitution. Oh, I'm on board with a couple of guys that are just wheezing all the time.
I have just a little bit of that coffee cough from Gen Con still lingering.
Oh yeah, no, I think it's there's something low grade in the summer that's going through everyone. I've had something in my throat that I couldn't get rid of as well, and it's age. I mean, sadly.
Yeah.
We just don't heal like we used to.
Nasonex is your friend. So a lowest stat plus Constitution.
Lowest
in my
stat
case
plus
would
Constitution.
be 23.
23
hit points.
Good high hit points. Now our ship, on the other hand, only has 3 hit points. If the ship is fully destroyed, once again, we do not all die, but we do lose the adventure. So we want to protect our ship to some degree. Sometimes we're forced to go into ship-to-ship battles. Sometimes we're just in so banged-up shape as characters that we need to force the battle in ship-to-ship. We also have a giga-tonnage on the ship, Conrad, and that can go up as high as we need it, probably a max of 70, I think, because there's 70 talents. And those are associated with different spells, different talents that any of us can employ. We can also find gear, like the 2 items of reward that we're going to be given, the Cosmic Harmonica and the Dark Photon Whip. And we can also get our own force powers, funky solo powers that we would use as our spells, our psionics, covering all the bases. Now, this is very, very space opera, very, very, Lucasfilm. We're going to meet a lot of big, scary monsters. We're going to meet a lot of very, very strange aliens who are all archetype. And D4 for your silver that you walk into the map for. We're going to use it to buy fuel.
I rolled a 1.
Yeah, I rolled a 4. Conrad got 1. You guys are. Where did I pick you up as my crew?
Where's my mulligans?
I'm inspired. I'm inspired by my 2 crewmates. We can definitely handle it. Now we have 3 main portions of the ship. We have an armaments portion, a propulsion portion, and a science comms section. We're going to dump Rusty down the science comms, and maybe I'll stick you in propulsion, Conrad. That does not mean we don't have a helm or life support or amenities. It's just not that functional. And occasionally we'll hit a place in the game where we'll say if you do not have any life support, meaning if you do not have any modules left in life support, bad things happen. Let's hopefully you don't hit too many of those. We'll start with you, Rusty. Go ahead and move yourself either one space into our first battle or one space into, I believe that's the cartels right here. And remember, each time we move a space, we are expending fuel, although you're going to find very quickly that everything seems to replenish your fuel. It's just at what price. These gold spots are really important because they automatically refill your fuel and you pick up money and loot. So
that's why
we
there's
have a
so
focus.
few of them. Okay,
Well,
got it.
It's an easy map now. Let's not get carried away. Now the end game, we're going to need 4 clues before the flag appears, and there is a harm that's associated until we visit a certain site. Let me see what it says. It says that the players may not use any ship module in combat. That's in the combat and the climax. Cancel this end game modifier by visiting Network Hub at 5L. 5L, where's 5L? You see, 5L, oh, that's all the way over on the other side of the map. If you count bases, I don't know that we can reach that. We'd have to find some fuel maybe by attacking the invaders, but then how do we get back? It's pretty remote to get there. And it's only gain a +1 modifier by visiting that site. And you're going to find that a lot of the bowls, they're also going to be affected by that the players may not use the ship modules in combat. And so let's move on to first move. Rusty, is it cartels or is it you want to start with a battle?
Let's kill off the group.
Kill off the group. It's always good to kill off the group. 2C. 2C. Okay, it's the hunter killer. We have there's sort of like a collection of asteroids, and they have older bio bays, labs on them, Rusty, and you say that you're going to go down and see if you can salvage anything. Did you want to take the 2 of us, of course, with you to explore these bio bays?
So, in other words, I could die alone, or I could take the whole party, and we could all die. That's my choices?
Yes, that's pretty much your choices.
Okay. Yeah, it's a group.
I was hoping for more choices.
Well, it's our Optimus.
Didn't feel like railroad there.
Red wants to kill off the group. I mean,
our Optimus
kills off the group.
Can we flee in terror? Is that an option? I don't know.
Now we're run out of fuel. We flee in terror.
We're out of luck. In the first encounter, you got to take it because you got no fuel.
Owner operators. We got to operate to own. Okay, so we get off ship and we go into these sort of series of catacombs, series of corridors. It's looking very Resident Evil, and things are moving inside. Now, do you want to just sort of, what do you do? What do you do? Things are moving. Do you want to cry out and say, hey, friendly visitors, or do you want to treat them as hospital start? Rusty, it's your call. You're our leader for the moment until you get out of this scenario. Things are moving around the base. Skittering, maybe. I don't know. Claws on the linoleum.
The monsters, not a base. So the band of monsters are in a base?
Yeah, well, they could just be living there. They could be parasites. And
I see Greg.
Yeah, can you guys hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. You may have also the chat in the browser on as well.
Great. Okay.
So see if you can turn off audio in the in your Roll20 because we got a little bit of an echo. But go ahead, Rusty. What do you got this base and things are moving in it, but you're not sure what they are. You certainly can employ a stat, and that's a good way of dying slowly. But
that.
Yeah, like I'll use my intelligence. Have I dealt with this before? I'll use my strength. I'll knock a wall over. See what runs out. Those are both bad choices in my opinion, but go ahead. You can go in guns blazing.
Yeah. Okay. Well, let's see.
Pull your photon knife.
Well, I think I'm going to I think I'm going to open the door with my strength.
You're going to open your door with strength. Don't need to roll to open a door with your strength. That sounds like an easy thing. So you open a door. When you open a door, it looks like there's this dog-like creature in front of you, and it's snarling. It's definitely not friendly. Now, do you want to just close the door and try a different room, or do you want to confront this thing? You want to try to get a pet for the ship? Please don't do that.
Yeah. Do we have any dog biscuits?
Sure, you can placate it if you want. Try your
Space
personality.
dog biscuits? Personality. Oh, it's so bad. Okay, let's see. Personality of a 13. All right, here we go. See, I'm rolling a D20, right?
Yes.
Woo! Look at that.
All right, so you drop the bait in front of it. I assume you had like a tranquilizer in it, even though you didn't say it. And when the creature goes to get it, you notice that it's more like a hologram. It's not actually where it is. And right behind you is the shifting beast, and it lurches for you. So let's go into combat. Good choice, though, Rusty.
I made a roll. And you're saying my roll was useless?
No, your roll prevented you from taking initial damage. That's important. And so the creature may be amplifying its size, so swing low. And it can, if we needed to, we could attack line of sight with the bull there. And so we're gonna make how many rounds? I'll do it one less. So make it a D4 minus 1 rounds of combat. Because of your action, Rusty, I'll take off a round of combat. 2 rounds of combat. All right. And we're gonna gain from this after we finish the 2 rounds of combat. So first round, we're rolling 3d20, either strength or dex, or con or personality, or intelligence or personality. I'll start since I'm always the guy that starts, it seems like. I'm going to roll 3d20. And here come my 3d.
Have an echo?
No, you're good, Greg. Thank you. And I rolled a 16, which on Bone Break, I made my strength. I rolled a 4, which means on Arcane, I missed my intelligence or perception, missed them both. And then finally, or I should say on Elemental, and then same way with Arcane. I have gotten 2 hit points from this. That was terrible. All right, round 1 for me, I took 2 points of damage. Let's go over to Rusty. Give me a 3d20 if you would, Rusty.
Let's see. Let's see. Strength or dex. Okay, I make that one. I miss the 1, and I make the 17. So
okay.
I took 1 point of damage.
1 point of damage, Conrad.
3 dice, right?
3 dice.
Strength has a success, right? And the
yes,
second
either
roll
strength
is,
or dex, whichever is better for you, sure.
And the second roll is int or per?
Con or per.
Con or per.
Yep.
Per is a 10, so that's a success. And the third roll is a 7, which is 1.
Which is your intelligence again, right?
Unfortunately, but my intelligence is an 8, so I take 1 point of damage.
You're going to take 1 point of damage, no overkill. And we're going to go to Greg. 3 dice, please.
All right. This character is not long for this world. It is amazing.
Wouldn't be as bad as Rusty's.
I'll take a look at Rusty's. I think it's definitely higher.
Well, the average should be 12.5, right? Isn't that what we decided?
You determined the average is terrible.
Yep, the average is 12.5.
Live and
my
improve.
lowest stat is my strength with it at 12.
You also roll a D for your silver that you start with, Greg. But go ahead and let's see what your numbers. Your lowest is a 12.
Go ahead and take your 1
my
silver.
My lowest is a 12, yes.
I put you in the science bay.
2 silver.
And so you 18, I'm sure you made something there, right? Either strength or dex.
Well, that's not me yet. I was just rolling the...
Tark is Conrad.
D4
yes.
for that. Okay, so now let's roll 3d20. And it looks like I'm strength. 15, that makes it.
Yeah.
Con or perception. They're both 14, so that makes it. And then the last one, well, misses every stat, but let's just say we'll go with intelligence was the 15, so I take 1 point of damage.
Okay, took 1 point of damage. I was the one that I'm the leader and the best character for stats, and I took the most damage. I guess that's the way it should be. Here comes my second round of combat. And 20, I made it. 11, I made it. And the 5, unfortunately, none of my stats are 5, so I'm going to take 1 point of damage, 1 less than what I took previously. A 9. And I'm 9 of 12. And Rusty. you couldn't just investigate on your own and be making these rolls on your own, Rusty. You had to take us with you. Go ahead, Rusty.
Rusty has an 8 and a 10.
Let's see.
Yeah, my character's quite a bit worse than Rusty's.
I made the strength. Let's see. Personnel 13. I failed that, and the 4 I failed that. So I
okay. 2 points of damage, and we go to Conrad. Tark.
Hold on. So 9 is a miss. I believe Dex is a Dex, right?
I have to pan back up. Yes, yeah, it is con or personality for the second number. Strength or Dex for the first.
So missed the first one, made the second one, and missed the third one. 2 points of damage.
Points of damage. Wow, that was a heavy combat. But we then, after 2 rounds of combat, we're done. And we're going to pick up a D4, either combination of fuel or silver. Now, we've already taken 1 fuel point moving here. So let me just mark that. Put little X's down here. When we get to 4 X's, we're out of fuel and we're out of luck. And so a D4. Rusty, roll us a D4, please.
D4.
Yep. High you want? 4. Okay. Now, you may take 4 silvers if you wish, or you may take 3 silvers and 1 point of fuel, which is what I would recommend.
Yeah, we'll take a point of fuel.
Okay, go ahead and take your 3 silvers, put them in your pocket as a future thing. A single endgame harm at random applies during this battle. We already applied that. That was the fact that we couldn't use our ship talents. And defeating the monster here reduces by 1 the clues needed. Wow. We are down to 3 clues. We're on our way, guys.
Easy peasy.
Game is bad. The fact that we all got injured there is probably not good. Now, the monster that we're going to face in the climax, too, he's another of these shifting beasts. And so we're going to face the same 3 rolls if we get to the climax and find the three clues. Every bull on the map is going to be the shifting beast. Now, from here, I go to Conrad. Conrad, did you want to move to the cartels, the people that we sometimes work for? Or do we want to move to that what is
Automation
it?
dry dock.
Automated dry dock, and that's then going to take us to an empty space and to another base and perhaps load up on more fuel toward the gold. Automation dry dock, or did you want to go to the cartel?
I lean towards the cartel.
The cartels are probably not bad. It's probably not going to hurt us too much. So over to the cartels, and that's going to be a 2D. So we're going to meet the oblivious nobility, the people that don't even know that the sector was actually in some sort of harm. Oh, by the way, I'm negligent in telling you that we're going to restore hope to this sector, a sense of honor and balance. For copyright reasons, we can't say a balance to the force, but a balance to the sector. And there is a perfect pretense that would draw us into here, a motive for traveling that we can use to tell the locals so we don't alarm them too much. And we know that the shifting beast is the monster that we need to defeat. At the cartels now, back to business, 2D. At 2D, we meet the oblivious nobility, as I said, and they're ignoring the obvious threat to play their games of politics. We may fill our tank for free, so it costs us 1 fuel to get there, and they fill us up. That's nice. And each player receives a D4 silver crypto for fealty and deception, or just tips for bringing drinks in the bar. 4 for me. I'm on my way.
That was nice.
I'm on my way to 20. Okay, and part of this as well is now we have to resolve the event to the stated conditions for an outcome. The event is one of their members is a little bit aged, a little bit insane. And we have to take care of him. He has to go night-night. So there's this sort of ranting guy about the fact that there's no duty and honor in this sector. How can they just sit here and drink and party when the whole place is going down the tubes? And we're gonna silence him. Now, the condition for the party is the party has to attempt either task. So we're gonna either need a crushing knockback to put the guy in his place, or we're gonna need an uncontested dagger thrust. The crushing knockbacks is a single roll of strength. My strength is an 8.
My strength is an 8.
The dagger thrust, we'd have to roll every stat except intelligence. I think we're leaning toward just giving the guy a big right cross. And if the group lacks the talent to cancel the task outright, and we do, unfortunately, we don't have a dagger thrust or a crushing knockback in our armaments or in our repertoire of funky powers, the number of tasks increased by a D4. Give me a D4, Conrad, on how many strength rolls we need to make.
Yikes. We weren't supposed to pick skills ahead of time, right?
You do not have any skills. Those are things like
points,
spells
right?
that you're going to acquire. Yeah, you're going to acquire them over the course of the game. 2, very, very low, as we like, entry to play. 2. We're going to have to make 2 rolls of strength. Well, as I say, my strength stat is an 8. Anyone can beat that?
I'm an 8, so we could just split it. Each of us
could
do
split
one.
it. No, I'd say I'd let you make both rolls because you got more hit points than me.
Right.
It's up to Conrad. Conrad, how do we mitigate that? Rusty's already done it. He's jumped right in. And the outcome, Boon or Bane, unfortunately, is a 3. A random character gains plus 12 hit points for the rest of the adventure, but he adds a crew restriction. So everyone roll a D20. Low die is going to pick up a crew restriction, but an extra. The leader is saying that he's a little bit peeved. I got 12 temp hit points. That should keep me alive for the rest of the game.
Yeah,
you were complaining about hit points, weren't you now? Did you learn something?
I was complaining about hit points, and I picked up 12 more. But let me roll a D20 and cut it in half here. And did it roll? I don't think it did. Here it comes. D20. There it is, a 4. So 2. How about the fact that I cannot enter the armament section. I cannot use armament-style attacks, either as accoutrement or as funky powers of my own right, or as ship modules. And I have that restriction. Sometimes it'll tell in the game that if a player has a restriction to propulsion technology, he will take extra damage in this encounter. That's not a good place to be. But I do have extra hit points for the rest of this battle. Now we're going to go over to Greg. Greg, from the we have resolved the cartels. We can go right to a base right next to us and head over to the further part of the map. That big section of void without base in the middle is a tough place to cross with only 4 fuel points. We're really depending upon the fact that the anomaly, or no, that's not the anomaly. That's the time dilation, or the scary monsters hidden in the black of space, or the that's probably the outside of the heliotropic of the local stars, and what the purple represents, or the big guru of the place, the cosmic guru. We can talk to him. He appears in all sections, or we can backtrack. Let me grab some X's here and let me see that we mark our map on where we've been. We have been.
Looks like base would be the obvious choice.
Base is the obvious choice. Okay.
So we got full fuel. So.
Well, you don't have to grab the fuel yet. Resolving the base is okay. Let me look at the base at 3E.
So wait, I might have missed that part because I logged in late.
Yes.
Can we move multiple spaces per move, or is it like before just one space?
Well, for every space we move, we use a point of fuel.
Yeah. Okay, so let's go to the base. We use a point of fuel. Hopefully, we'll gain the fuel back.
Okay. And at the base of 3E. Now, Greg, you step off the vessel onto the base, and you encounter the local citizens, and they're giving you a very strange look. You're just you're an outsider. I don't think you sense the fact that they're xenophobes. They're definitely not welcoming. So you obviously have to adopt a pretense and tell them why you're here as an outsider. And there are 20 of those that you can adopt. But also the locals need you to flatter them in some way. So if you saw this Star Wars alien, what would you comment on? Would you say their shoes are very pretty? That would be a wrong answer. Or would you say we love the color of your eyes? That would be a wrong answer. But how do you flatter the local people?
Yeah, my character is really used to this type of reaction. It's my 14 personality.
You're sort of dead to it, aren't you? How do you flatter the locals?
Here we are. Okay, so
well, you need an excuse for being here, so you'd pick one of those 20, just so that we have a finite list. And you would also, again, by the local obstacle, you would need to flatter the locals in some way. How do you flatter them?
Oh, got separate. Okay, sorry. I thought you were like.
No, I'm not incorporating the two. The pretense is something different. That's when the authorities come and say, "What are you doing here?" But this is just the locals have gathered because your curiosity to them.
I will comment on how efficiently run this place is. Like, you guys really know how to run a starbase.
And so they're mostly looking at you because they have wings and you don't. So what do you say about their wings?
I tell them I wish I had wings.
They sort of flutter them at you, and you say they're ravishing. Do you say that you're very peculiar? How do you approach these winged creatures?
I tell their wings are beautiful. It seems, I wish I had wings.
Nope, that's definitely not the right answer. Okay, so the local citizens, they actually are embarrassed by the fact that they have wings. You've drawn attention to their wings, and these wings are completely ordinary, so they know that you're an outright liar. All right, now pick your pretense as you enter. You're going to have a -4 penalty for as you deal with the locals. Which of the pretense? Why are you here, sir?
Excellent. We want to do a strength test, strength check. I think is our best stats from what I'm hearing.
Sure.
Is that?
Well, I have a 6 con.
No, I think con is the best. Yeah.
Oh, 6 con, huh? Con.
Yeah, I have a 6. I had amazing rolls in which hurt my hit points.
We're pilgrims.
Pilgrims that are brought you to the system. All right. So if we make a con roll, we can gain access to the base. If we fail the con roll, we do not gain access to the base. It's sort of closed off to us. And so let me see if Pilgrims was the perfect justification. Pilgrims was not the perfect justification. And unlike the fantasy game, I'm not going to give you the broad category. I'm going to first have to make the con roll, and then I'll give you a second choice. So I need to roll a d20 and get myself a 6 or better. And I did. So at least we got access.
We were
Pilgrims.
-4, Red.
Oh, we're -4. Oh, that's a 9. -4 is going to be, I'm going to take a point of damage. You bastards. You miserable people. I guess I'm the best. I'm not going to shirk my responsibilities. Wait a second. Let me take it off my temporary hit points, not my permanent ones, just in case I lose my temporary ones for some reason. Here comes my second roll. Come on. Here comes my third roll. Would you people stop hitting me pelting me with rocks and garbage? I took 3 points of damage. Thank you, Greg. You had to point out they had wings. All right. We're into the base, luckily, but when we get into the base, we're allowed to make a second choice, or we can forego that. At -4, I think we want to forego that, Greg, but it's up to you.
Well, it's a 50-50 roll, right?
Or
it's a -4 to the roll because we insulted the locals and proved that we're not.
But if it's a strength roll, it is 50-50, right?
Yeah, if he wants to pick a strength, sure. Oh, you mean if we pick another Constitution? You're saying?
Right.
Yeah, sure. It's a 50-50 roll, of which I took 3 points of damage.
Well, but you took 3 points of the temporary damage.
Right.
Oh, now we're going to quibble over what sort of
I'm
damage.
just saying. I mean, you scratched your wings.
We're
What
gonna
do
lose
you want
that
me to
damage
say?
anyway. We're gonna
We're
breeze
taking
through
the
this place
sheen
with
off
no
my
damage.
boots. Don't be taking the sheen off of, of Drake's boots.
Well, that's all.
Right.
I mean, we have to ultimately determine what this is, I assume, right?
Yes, we have
And
to
there's gonna
ultimately determine. So this would be
so
the
I
best
mean,
option.
this is as worse. This is as bad as it gets, right?
Yeah. All right.
50-50.
Go ahead.
Okay, so
pick
wait,
As good
a-
as it gets, rather.
My
All right.
character is significantly worse than Rusty's really bad character. So I'll take the con roll at -4, which hopefully should run through the character quickly.
You mean, well, if you want to re-roll, you can re-roll and just cede your gear and silver to somebody else. But I wouldn't get rid of the character just yet by running.
Well, and I would ask what gear, because he's
Well,
just silver to me.
If he's got boots that
silver.
aren't scuffed, I probably would pick them up. But pick a second one to test. You can test con, or you could test your best stat, Greg, if you really want to take over, since it is your event.
Sure, I'll test strength then, which is my best stat by quite a bit.
All right. So besides being pilgrims, we're also what?
I'll go terraform rainmakers.
Oh, the rainmakers, something everyone can use is rainmakers. It's not, no, that's not the perfect pretense for being in here. If the reason for traveling is we're going to restore hope by instilling a sense of honor and balance to the sector, I don't think rainmaking is really going to instill any sort of sense of balance and hope to the sector. But it could. Give me a roll of strength, Greg.
All right. Let's see. We'll go like this. No, we're -4, right?
Yes.
Oh, that I just only took 1 point of damage. 19 actually makes it.
All right, that's our 2 chances to try to find the perfect pretense for being in the system, and we have an option of trying to resolve the local conflict. Luckily, we reset. We're not at -4 yet, although they do hate us. 3E, they might not trust us to do any sort of additional, but
I think
we
they
have
hate
to.
Greg, but that's just a.
Yeah, well, it is semantics. They hate Greg. Yes. Let's get this straight. Greg is the one that said, "I actually think their wings are terrible, and I'll offer a service of clipping them off," which I've done in many systems that we visited. Many of the more refined systems have a wing clipping sort of. Okay, so we can gain a hope and reward, and we can have possibility of having access to fuel and repairs and all sorts of other neat things if we resolve the local problem. They say that they are threatened by some huge armada that comes out of the dark forces of space as opposed to the light forces of space. From the purple sections of the map, we are invaded by this Carfu horde. We would need a battle cry and a myrmidon to inspire the people to make their defenses ready. If the party pretense was scouts for the military, it was not. We took pilgrims and rainmakers. Then we would add 4 to our stat rolls. If anyone in the party has a restriction armaments, thank you, Greg.
Red does.
Then the party suffers -D4 def mod. Yes, because I'm afraid to use cannons now, plasma cannons. Minus, because we are space opera, a -4 to the def mod. So we would be rolling strength and personality. And what is the conditions? All players must attempt one of the 2 tasks until success. Is it worth it to us? If you say we will not resolve this right now, I'll change this system to question mark, or else we all need to roll either one or the other until success at -4 to the rolls.
Again, I'm saying probably not. Again, my only motivation for doing that would be it would probably kill the character quicker, and I'd roll a new one. So we'll say no.
Well, you're hoping that you roll a better one. Okay, so it's up to you, Greg. Again, you're in the spot
it would be
here.
hard to not roll a better one.
So did you want to push our luck here? And it's the only way we can get base amenities, what it is, and there is a secondary outcome and hope, or a secondary penalty that can occur for completing this resolving this local threat. Do we resolve it, or do we move on? We can always come back.
Yeah, I'd say let's move on.
Okay, I'm going to go over to Rusty then. Rusty, so your choices here are to backtrack over to the automated dry dock, or you can head to a second base. We're down 1 fuel point. You're going to use 1 fuel point probably to get to each of the sections. Yes, we have exactly 3 fuel points. You can get to the automatic dry dock. And I will give you a clue that the automatic dry dock is like an automatic filling station as well. So that would be... if you decide to go to the dry dock, we're not going to run out of fuel and end the game there.
Right.
Or you can go to the base, or we can kill another one of the local of the, what did I call them? The shifting beasts. Let me go back up to the top here. The shifting beasts. Yes. The dogs that don't appear where they are. All right, so we're over at the dry dock.
We probably ought to do the math on these moves, right? Because it sounds like we're going to be restricted to 4 space moves here, right? So if you go to the dry dock, what that means you only have one choice, that's to go to this base here.
No, you can also go and attack the invaders and take their fuel.
Well, I guess that's what I'm getting to. Is that, in other words, we're limited to 4 spaces.
You're definitely limited to 4 spaces.
Anywhere we go, we need to be planning our next move.
Correct.
Right, and
coming back,
we get full because we get full fuel. We can easily go to this base or this base. If we fail this space, we still can get to this space, and the gold is supposedly very valuable. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and we just need one of these 2 bases to be giving us fuel.
Yeah, that's my point.
Yes, no, you definitely want to be thinking
looking at what our next move is, because
you're not going to be able to backtrack all the way across the map. Where the wormhole is positioned becomes more important to the actual play. And I'm seeing one side of the wormhole. I'm not seeing the other one. Are we locking in with the party?
The issue was, if we'd gone to this base here, it puts us more than 4 spaces away from the refueling base. And
it puts us away more than 4 spaces away from the automated dry dock, which means we're pretty much cut off from it. Unless we attack the bull and roll a 4 to replenish our fuel, then we're 4 spaces away from it again, if you follow. Most of the places that are colored on the map will have an opportunity for fuel. It's just whether or not we destroy our ships or ourselves. This is the wreck of Pandora. Make no mistake. Do we want to take the ground rover on our first adventure to the planet, or are we going to leave that up top to lose it later?
Well, you're talking about the base at 2F. The base at 2F is 4 from the dry dock. Dry dock.
And we have to get fuel there, because if we don't get fuel there, we can't make it back.
Right.
That's the point. So, that was what I was trying to get to.
Yes. So I say.
So we're sort of, by coming over here, not that it's bad, we're committed to then going to here, sort of, kind of, then coming here, sort of, kind of, and then coming here, sort of, kind of.
Oh, there's the other half,
the
wormhole. So that wormhole is actually rather convenient, because it'll take us up here if we wanted to, for whatever reason, get to this extra clues, minor quest, or.
Okay. So going. So really, we want to get close to this guy here.
As we progress in level, the maps go from a level 1 map to a level 9 map. As you notice, they get more cluttered. This is not as cluttered, and so yes. But I think you should worry about the fuel like you're doing.
The goal. So
worry about the fuel, Conrad, but trust the fact that there's a lot of fuel on the map.
Well, we've seen a little bit, I guess, at this point.
Yep. Okay, so let's go to the dry dock, and at 3B. 3B, let me see.
I mean, generally speaking, it's always going to be con roll, so it's going to be red getting
At least I picked up some extra hit points here.
Some extra hit points for getting kicked in the stones.
Yes. Okay, an automatic dry dock. Well, you fill your fuel tank for free, so I think we were at 0, and we land and we fill up for free. Thank you, robots. A chance to improve your vessel with state-of-the-art ship modules. Visiting this site reduces by 1 the clues needed to reach the climax. So we're now only 2 clues from reaching the climax. And let me write 2 clues. And it says that resolve the event to the stated conditions to receive the final ship bonus boost. Be warned that that the additions seldom arise without a bane or penalty. You know, the robots just can't be trusted. And we'll get the tin head. We'll get the tin head bane next. All right, here comes. Who was the one that took us here? Rusty, right? Oh, Rusty. Okay, so you have to deal with the Baroque jeweler in charge of this dry dock. Can pitch him any way you wish. He talks to you about how perfectly ordinary and stupid looking those wings are at the 3E base. Always worried about the Carfu horde. The Baroque jeweler, we're going to need Virtuoso or Raconteur, and it's a choice of ship module we get from that. It will increase the giga tonnage by 1. Regardless, one character at random gains the restriction of helms and horizon benefits. And that's not the penalty, the tin head bane that's associated with this. This is just an extra little sad flair. Everyone roll. Please don't roll a 1. A 3. Crap. My good character is getting ruined. Everyone try to beat a 3 so that I'm... Oh, thank you, Tark. Tark, you're afraid of the helm section of the ship. Mark that on your character sheet, that you have no helm horizon benefits until you go up, get that XP and make it go away, or decide to live with it to improve something else. And the next section would be jeweler, and what is the condition? The condition is anyone may use a talent to meet either requirement. Otherwise, a single random player must attempt all stat tests for either task. So we do not have Virtuoso nor Raconteur. So everyone roll a d20, and low die is the person who's randomly has to deal with the Baroque jeweler. Not me. Here's Conrad. You need to step forward and deal with the Baroque jeweler. So you need to either do a personality roll, or you need to do a Virtuoso, which is all but con.
I'm not saying anything, Greg, but if you want to get killed,
don't be
you gotta miss some rolls or something. So
yeah, you might want to roll low.
My personality is a 10, so we're gonna roll personality.
Attempt all stat tests for either task, and he made it. So the Baroque jeweler says, "Hey, no problem. We can fix you right up with the best and the brightest." So a choice, Conrad. Since you're the one that dealt with the Baroque jeweler, did you want to add a helm horizon? I would say no, because you sort of got a phobia against that. But did you want to add a med bay? If we really needed a section of the ship, which section would it be? If you were a certain color, what would you be? No, we're not going to roll that.
More of an off yellow.
Yes. Amenities, of course, right? No.
Well, I was going to say robotics would be my.
Rusty was debating robotics. All right. Do you want a wily, bounding, lucky, nimble, gizmo, contoured lockpick?
Well, Wiley last time let us jump from base to base once.
It might happen again. So let's grab Wiley, because we're
the only other thing that I've heard is of any that's popped up is Myrmidon from the other,
but everything ends up popping up. So
yep.
Let me put this in the chat just so we get reminded of it. And of course, you can go into the handouts and read all the spells if you decide you're moving in that direction. The force is with you. Oh, can't say that. The funky is with you. Party takes no damage in the first round of combat. That's nice. Know beforehand the outcome of freebooters. Add dex as an option on a certain type of attack. Replenish your energy by entering and resolving the Wizard's Tower. Wizard's Tower. Boy, I need to rewrite that one, don't I? And regain the ability to, that would be Wizard's Tower as the covert base. Regain the ability of the party to cast a d4 plus 1. Funky powers. So that does not really have the wily. You're probably thinking of bounding, speeds travel to move you safely from pacified town to pacified town. Did you want me to move it to that one instead, or did you want to keep it as wily first play?
Just to take it as called, right? There was a reason why the power made me use the select 8-1. I would say the force, but I can't say force.
Yes, you can't say the force. Yes, the powers, the funkiest powers.
Power times time.
And power times time. Okay, I can't remember. Force times time is power. It's power, I thought. Power times time would be power time. And hey, yes. Like hammer time. We're going to go over to, we're still resolving the space here. Yes, the tin head, the bad tin head. Who pulled us here? Here is the final thing that happens as they're waving goodbye. Don't storm the castle without us. All characters with crew restrictions of armaments. God dang it.
That's red.
Takes 2d4 damage. Hey, Greg, you said, hey, who's going to die first? All players must roll success at worst stat to have overall any damage. Okay, so I'm going to take 2d4 damage. 1, 2. I'm going to take 2 points of damage, or all of us can roll our worst stat till success to have the amount of damage I took. That would be sort of in case you guys really love me enough to save my life. Don't do that. Let's not.
That's why you have temp hit points.
Yeah, force equals power divided by time, of course. But force time is what we pay the electric company for.